Welcome to this Ubuntu Project video facilitated by Zentertainment Enterprises. Be sure to like and subscribe if you learned something new. Now, onto the video.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Kevin Patterson. Welcome back to Module 2. This one is about mindfulness. And so the first one, if you remember, was about setting the stage for what is holistic health and how do we see it as a comprehensive view that makes up our mind, body, and spirit alignment. Mindfulness was a piece of that. But today we're going to dig deeper into mindfulness itself to find out how can we cultivate more mindfulness on a daily basis. My goal for this one is for you to walk away with lots of skills that you can do and implement every single day that are easy, that you can see almost immediate results in how you feel inside of your mind, body, and spirit. So mindfulness, here we go. The origin of it truly is in Buddhist meditation practices. So some of the older meditation practices within the Buddhist religion really taught us how to be here now. And so for most of us, we're either spend our time preoccupied about the past, wishing we would have said or done or acted in different ways, and we forget that we can't change that. It's already happened. And so the other side of us wants to worry about tomorrow. We're worried about what is going to happen or what we need to say tomorrow or how we need to show up, but it hasn't happened yet. And so we spend a lot of our times kind of going in between these two worlds of yesterday and tomorrow, but we forget that the only thing that's real is right now. And so mindfulness reminds us of that. Now, there's lots of mental health benefits to practicing mindfulness, including really minimizing our symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress, because anxiety and depression and stress typically are either products of the past or worries about the future. Very rarely, whenever we're in the moment right now, doing our best with what we can with what we have, do we experience these things. They're typically connected to the past or the future. And so if we can be more mindful, we can minimize a lot of the symptoms that we experience in those three things. And then finally, we can transition them into techniques. And so specific things that we'll go deep into to show you just how user-friendly mindfulness can be. I know when I started down the path of teaching mindfulness to others, I thought it was a big concept and hard to understand. But then I learned it's really not. I just need to start somewhere. And so I'll give you lots of ideas on what you can do, and then some encouragement at the end for how to make mindfulness part of your everyday practice. So let's start with how to integrate it. I'm going to share with you several ways to do this. And so here's the first part. Number one, mindful walking. And so this is a fun way to not only just go on a walk and automatically throw in the AirPods and tune out or zone out to music or lose sight of where we are. It's being mindful when you do walk. And so whenever we do walk, whether it's at lunch, at work, or at night or in the morning, can you do it and start to notice new things in your environment? Can you listen to nature? Can you see nature? Can you listen to your breath? If you are going to listen to something, are you listening to something that brings you to the here and the now, or are you using it to escape? So mindful walking is about doing what it takes to actually be in the moment and walking. So one tip that I do is I like to play the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 game. And what that means is as I'm walking, I look around and say, what are 5 things I can see right now? And I list them. What are 4 things that I can hear right now? And I list them. What are 3 things that I can touch right now? And I list them. What are 2 things I can smell? And what is 1 thing that I can taste? And when I play with my senses in that way, it creates almost like a scavenger hunt for my walk, but I learned to really connect with what I'm experiencing here and now, not escaping into yesterday or tomorrow. Mindful breathing is the second one. And this is where we take intentional moments in our day to pause and use our breath to either give us energy or to calm us down. And so these are beautiful ways to do that. Let me share one with you that I think works really, really, really well. And it's called 4-7-8 breathing. This type of breathing is done by inhaling through the nose for 4 seconds. So a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as we inhale to the top, holding it at the top for 7 seconds. Okay, so we'd hold it for a full count of 7 seconds. And then when we're ready to exhale, we would slowly exhale for a long count of 8 seconds. Keep doing this for about 5 to 7 rounds. And it really does promote a lot of calm in the body. I'll tell you why. Because if we do a quick inhale through the nose, it brings oxygen in and it gets oxygen to our brain really quickly, so it recycles it. But then to hold it, it sends our body into a really quick little temporary fight or flight moment where it feels a little shaky. And then we get to slow down the exhale to show ourselves that we can calm our body down. You'll find it's actually harder to exhale for a count of 8 because we're so used to breathing mindlessly that whenever we mindfully breathe, we learn to slow it down. And the longer we can make our exhales count, the calmer we become. So 4, 7, 8 breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. You'll love it, I promise. Now, the third thing is mindful stretching. And so mindful stretching really is about moving our body in ways that we address any stuckness or pain or any aches that we feel in our body. And it's moving through it, it's stretching through it. To create breaks, we can also resend circulation through our body whenever we do this. And as we do it, it helps us to come back into our work calmer and with more comfort. And so mindful stretching throughout the day is a wonderful mindfulness way to integrate. Mindful eating is the fourth one. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I eat and I look down and the plate's empty and I don't remember even eating the whole thing because I was eating and playing on my phone or eating and still typing and working, that I didn't take the time to be with my food. And so if any of you have unhealthy food behaviors or any body image challenges, this is such a great way to reclaim empowerment over those things by mindfully eating. And so this looks like eating a snack mindfully and enjoying it and really savoring the taste, the texture, the aroma, slowing it down, chewing it fully. And if you can create an experience with it, number one, you'll feel fuller quicker and longer. But number two, it becomes an experience. And we don't just like mindlessly eat throughout the day. We mindfully connect with our food. And sometimes if it's really fun food or exotic food or food prepared by somebody, you can send gratitude to the food. It's a beautiful practice. And so I challenge you to mindfully eat. The fifth one is mindful listening. And so this is listening to the sounds around you and noticing them without judgment. Also, it's mindfully listening to people. And sometimes we listen and it's more about listening to respond, or it's listening to figure out how I'm going to get the last word and not listening to understand or empathize with somebody. And so mindful listening really is about listening without judgment. The last one on this slide is about mindful breaks. And it's just being mindful of when you've sat too long or when your body's feeling stiff. And it's choosing to change your scenery for 5 minutes and just refresh your state of mind. This creates more of a break in our day, and it allows us to come back ready to tackle what's next. A few more here is mindful technology. And so I don't know about you, but have you ever looked at your screen time on your phone, how much time you spend on certain apps or just on your phone as a whole during the day? I think we'd all be surprised that it's a lot more than most of us think. And so it is nice to sometimes put the phone down, put us in focus mode, turn it over to where I can't see the notifications, take my watch off, and just be disconnected from technology so that I can really reconnect with the world around me. Mindful sleep. It's a way to ensure that our routines prior to sleep support our needed rest. And so if we watch the news before we go to bed and it makes us stressed and then we have a toss and turn kind of night, maybe don't do that. Let's instead listen to a podcast or grab our Kindle or talk to somebody or write, journal, read. Those are better ways to go to sleep more mindfully. The next one's mindful driving. And this might include, if you have time in your day, take a new route, like see if you can learn your city in a new way or see something you haven't seen, stop at a new coffee shop. But it's being present of the idea of I'm choosing something different. And it doesn't just become a routine or just something I see every day. The next one is, as I explained on your walk, mindful senses. Can you check into all 5 of your senses and bring you back to the present moment? The fifth one down here is about mindful sex. And so, taking away shame or guilt or even just how we were raised to be, understood about sex or what we believed about sex growing up. Sex can be such a beautiful thing with our partners whenever we connect with them on an intimate level and we explore pleasure together. And it's not just a superficial transaction to get done quickly, but we take our time and we're with our partners. It's a way to practice mindfulness in our intimate relationships too. And then finally, a mindful home. Does your environment reflect your mindfulness, your desire for calm, your desire for organization, for creativity and productivity. And if not, maybe rearrange the furniture or declutter or stage your room or your office in a way that it does promote these things and you can stay present, vibrant, and calm throughout your day. So I love this quote, and it says, breathing in, I calm my body and my mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is the only moment. And that's the goal of mindfulness, to not be concerned again with yesterday, to not be worried about tomorrow, but to be here now and to do things in our daily life through our routines, daily, weekly, and monthly, that help us stay present. So here's some encouragement for you as you start your mindfulness path. Start small. And what I don't recommend is setting big, crazy goals like I'm going to meditate for 90 minutes tomorrow. If you haven't been meditating, that's going to be really hard to hit. So start with something like 5 to 10 minutes of mindfulness. And maybe that's your short walk where you practice the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe it's a 5-minute break in the day where you practice your 4, 7, 8 breathing. Or maybe it's 5 minutes a day that you see, can I sit in silence and just observe my thoughts without judgment and let them go and move through my mind like a cloud? Start small. The second one is make it a habit. Do it every day. And if you have to track it, do it. But consistency builds lifelong habits. The third one is be patient. If you're taking on a new habit that you haven't done before, you're not going to get it right the first time up until maybe the 10th time. But every day, as long as you show up, give yourself the recognition that you're doing something new and you're improving your life and you're bringing more mindfulness in. There will be a day that it clicks and it becomes part of who you are, and you get to celebrate that. But until then, be patient with yourself. The next, mix it up. If what you're doing is not interesting or engaging or doesn't excite you, and you keep doing it and it continues to not excite you, try something different. As long as you're doing it every day, making it a habit, starting small, being patient, feel free to change it up and find the thing that works for you. And then finally, enjoy the process. I'm a firm believer that if we don't have fun doing it, it just becomes another chore. Mindfulness can't be a chore. It has to be something that you see the value of it and it makes you live a better life. And as you practice it more, you love who you're becoming more. So if you're not enjoying it and you're not seeing the results of it, try something different. So my idea is that we can appreciate each moment of our practice and it becomes part of who we are. I hope this has been helpful, and just know you're not alone. Just like any new habit that you have to create, bringing mindfulness into your life, it's a habit as well, but it'll get there. As I mentioned in my first video in Module 1, I did write an ebook called Practicing Mindfulness. It's full of tips and very practical ways to understand mindfulness. It's free, and I hope you download it, and I hope you read it over and over again. Send it to anyone that you know that you think would benefit from it. And let's just make our world a better place by understanding how mindfulness creates a better life one by one. Thank you, and I'll see you in Module 3.
Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to know when we upload a new video.